You missed the early games of MMOs. The early days of MMOs were actually their greatest strength. And that was, it was a social experience online. Social experiences used to be novel. Is this game start playing or is dead? Doing well, if I say this game is dead, would that stop you from playing it? If I said there are not that many people who play this game, would you not want to play it? Do you only want to play a game that's super popular? In that case, just go and play World of Warcraft. Because old MMOs were just a social room with a game attached. It looks cool though. Cool, play it then. Stop asking if a game is dead and start asking if you want to play it. If I kept asking if games are dead and therefore not playing them because they're not popular, then my entire taste is being guided by what other people are doing. I don't want my entire taste to be guided by what other people are doing. I think the fear that some players have is they get invested into a game and the game shuts down. That fear can happen with any game. All you're trying to do is mitigate that fear. And if your gaming choice is based on mitigating the fear that your time invested is not going to be wasted, you're not really looking at enjoying the game, you're looking at the time that you spend now still having relevance to you in 5, 10, 15 years' time. Some of the best stuff in the world is temporary. That's okay. You don't not watch a TV show just because it doesn't last forever. You don't not listen to a band because at some point they might stop making music. You don't not enjoy an artist's paintings because at some time they might stop painting. It's okay to invest time into a video game as an enjoyment and then have it shut down, which sucks, and then go and invest it somewhere else. I hate the word invest because it implies there's monetary value to it, but everyone seems to use it, so that's what I tend to go with. Is Neverwinter good again? It's good enough for me. If you prevent yourself doing something in the present because that thing may not matter in the future, then you are losing the present to a potential future that may or may not happen. If you need guarantees before you do something, you are going to miss out on a huge amount of stuff that you could have potentially really enjoyed. Spend time having fun, man. Final Fantasy XI, is that? Yeah, that's still going. People love FF11 still. But don't MMO players focus on the guarantees? Certain people do, certain people don't. If MMO players only ever focused on the guarantees, we wouldn't ever have any smaller MMORPG communities, would we? You can be lonely in a group of 1 million people. You can feel the most cared for, the most seen, and the most powerful sense of belonging with 5 people. The amount of players that a game has does, of course, change the reality of it maybe shutting down one day, but it does not mean that you are guaranteed to find a sense of belonging. You can be lonely in a crowd. You can be home in a small group. If you're simply saying, I'm only going to go where the biggest crowd is, because that has the highest potential of remaining as a crowd, but you aren't actually enjoying the crowd, what's the point in being in it? MMORPG players often do say they only want to do something that's going to remain. In that case, don't play video games at all. Go and work on yourself. You are the most permanent thing you have. We saw the moment New World was announced as shutting down, a huge exodus of players from it. Massive exodus of players. People that were having fun moment to moment suddenly didn't want to play it. And that was because they realized that the time they were spending playing it, they weren't actually enjoying. They were simply doing it because it may have had value in the future. I'll happily take the value of day to day, but in all seriousness, do go and work on yourself. Best way to do it. Most people play MMOs for relevancy, not the experience itself. I can understand that. As a game, they're not normally that good. As a social experience, they are. And people don't want to invest time in a social experience that may one day end. I get that. I don't regret the time that I spent in any MMO that ended. Runes of Magic, Neverwinter, New World. These games either did or didn't continue, but I had a good time in them. And that gives me a great amount of, stories and memories, and I have fun with that, which to me is important. Oh, if you've got the email from Neverwinter, it's because they're doing a free character event, and you get a free max level character. It's amazing how much MMO pressure disappears when you have kids. Now you can enjoy them for what they are without feeling obligated. Have any of you ever gone through that moment where you realize that you don't actually owe the game your time? The game instead should be able to provide you with a fun way to spend your time. A game can give you a great way to spend your time. If the game is not giving you that, if you aren't enjoying that, now I'm not saying that you can just turn your brain off and be entertained. Games, especially MMOs, RPGs, are often a dance, a collaborative effort between you paying attention and them giving you what they can give you. There is a give and take to this. But it's also nice to be able to just log in, do what you like, log out for a little bit. That can work. Strider2 says, question, nowadays we're in the paradox of you have to put the hours in, so to speak, to be good at something. I'm going to pretty much answer my own question. But what do you do if you enjoy an activity in small amounts, but when you do it in huge amounts, it gets toxic? Should you work on improving your perspective of that thing or keep it in small quantities? Context is PvP games like Dota 2. Strider, you are unlikely to become a Dota 2 professional and paid to play it. Do you enjoy playing the game? If you don't enjoy playing the game, stop playing the game. There is no pressure to be good at a video game. Nobody in real life cares if you're good at a video game. The only people that care are the people who are deeply, dangerously enfranchised to that video game and have tied their entire personality and validation to it. Most normal people you meet will simply ask, are you spending your time doing something that you enjoy? And if you don't enjoy what you're spending your time doing, why are you doing it? I'm not saying that you need to spend your time doing something easy. People don't always enjoy going to the gym. People don't always enjoy climbing a mountain. People don't always enjoy eating healthy. But there are things they do because they feel a deep level of satisfaction after having done them. Are you feeling content? Are you feeling a deep level of satisfaction? Because what happens is I see hundreds of people every week come to me and say, hey, I'm doing this thing repeatedly, but I'm not feeling satisfied. What should I do? Don't do it then. People care about you in-game, or now they want to play with you. Why? Because they don't want to lose or waste time. BTD, your time is wasted the moment you spend it doing anything. Because you have spent that time on that thing. Time is a currency. You spend it, and you get back the thing that you spend it on. And if you are thinking, I am only spending this currency because it's going to pay dividends in the future, then the only thing worth spending it on is eating healthy and working out. That's it. Anything else is stuff that's fun right now. If you are spending time playing a video game because you think this is going to have value in the future, the game can shut down. The game can change. The people that play with you right now will not play it in the future. You will not have time for it and want to do something else and then think, oh my God, all my time was wasted. Not everything is an investment into the future. Sometimes it is a service that you're getting right now. Play video games that make you happy, that sate you, that give you a deep sense of satisfaction. I have met so many people that absolutely goddamn hate League of Legends, and the only thing they will do when they get home from work is play League of Legends. And they are the most unfulfilled people I've met. Now, I'm not saying that all League of Legends players are like that. I'm saying there is an undeniable connection between people that absolutely hate the hobby they have and yet also have this undeniable, unstoppable insistence that they keep engaging with the hobby. Because the moment they stop, they feel like all of their time has been wasted, when they don't understand that they keep punching themselves in the face with the idea that they've spent so long punching themselves in the face, they wouldn't want all the previous punches to go to waste. It's okay to look back and reflect and say, I'm going to stop engaging in this exact behavior because I've realized that it's not giving me the satisfaction that I want anymore. That's fine. It's encouraged to reflect. It scares me that so many people need an outside force, in this case me, to tell them that they don't need to keep engaging in an optional hobby that they no longer enjoy. Sunk costs are already sunk. You're not getting them back. Stop sending other ships to rescue the first few sunken ones. Some people get so attached to video games that they feel they are incapable of quitting them unless they are told that quitting them is the right idea. Imagine if this was anything else. Imagine if someone comes up to you and says, hey man, I really like Game of Thrones and I've been watching the same Game of Thrones season for the last 12 years now, but I'm just not really sure if I'm getting anything from it anymore. And they're like, well, why don't you just stop watching Game of Thrones and go and watch something else? And they're like, yeah, but I've spent so long watching it that I kind of think that if I watch something else now, my previous time watching it is wasted. I'm like, why? Can somebody take take your memories away? Can somebody remove your previous experience? Can somebody invalidate the fun you've had before because you're not continuing to have it now? And they're like, nah, but I've invested so much in it and I feel that I've got to keep going. It's part of the routine now. That's what it is. It's part of the routine. You could just tell them to watch something else and they're like, nah, I don't want to do that. But that means you've got to invest in something else. Sometimes dealing with people's behaviors is weird. Like, I've stopped watching TV shows halfway through because I'm like, I'm not getting anything from this anymore. And then people have said, oh, you've got to keep going, it gets good. I'm like, look, there is more media out there than anyone could possibly experience in one lifetime. There are more songs than you could ever listen to. There are more films than you could ever watch. There are more TV series than you could ever sit through. There are more games than you could ever finish. A piece of media does not have the luxury of getting good. Now, please understand that I'm not saying that I need TikTok brain, everything needs to be, beamed into my dopamine receptors right now. Pacing matters. Pacing is important. You can start slow and then build up into a big kind of extravaganza at the end of it, but the slow pacing still needs to be good. People think that when I say a game needs to get good now, what they mean is it needs to have no pacing and just immediately throw you into the action with all of the mechanics. No, that's not the case. Soul Reaver is one of my favorite games. It gets good from the very start. The Arkira says, stop lecturing. You need to get out the... If you don't want lectures, man, I can just ban you right now. There we go, it's easier. This is a one-way conversation. Obviously, you can't reply back immediately, but I'm trying to explain how I feel about this. You've already lost the time. If I'm going to be standing at the front of any kind of room pontificating upon my opinions and someone walks in and goes, you need to stop lecturing, there are other Twitch streams. Like, it's totally possible to just stop watching something and stop engaging with something and stop, listening to something because you've realized that it's not giving you what you want. And just because it gave you what you want for a long time doesn't mean it will continue to do so. You can eat the same meal every single day for your entire life if you want to. But if halfway through you realize it's no longer giving you the things that it used to give you, you can move on. You can stop. You can change. You can do other stuff, and you should be encouraged to do that. You're too focused on the ears. Why are they blue? I know, that annoys me too. They should have been red. That was a bit brutal. It's not brutal if... It's absolutely not brutal. Brutal that I banned someone, or brutal that I said you can stop doing things that you don't want to do. Me banning someone because they come in and said, stop lecturing, is not the energy that I want to have in a stream when the vast majority is me just talking out loud of my thoughts and people wanting to respond to them. I don't want the sarcastic, smug, patronizing energy of someone coming into the stream and being like, you need to stop lecturing. That's the energy of walking into a classroom and just walking up to the teacher and being like, you need to stop trying so hard. Okay, none of this really matters. If you want to value being smug and pedantic over trying to engage with someone, that's fine. But I'm going to run out of energy to deal with smug and pedantic people. So when people say, why should they keep watching or listening or paying attention? You know what? You shouldn't. There's loads of Twitch streams out there. Go and find the one that you want to vibe with the most. I don't think that you need to continue engaging with a game or a piece of media that has ceased to be the thing that you need it to be. If it's ceased to be that, just move on from that. Putting extra time into it because you hope that it was good. If you went to a restaurant that served some of the best food you'd ever have, then fantastic, you're going to go back. If that restaurant starts to serve rotten, horrible, old food that you no longer enjoy, you don't need to keep going to the restaurant in the hopes that it's going to give you what it once gave you. You don't need to keep going and telling people that it used to be good, because people can't play through your memories. It's totally okay to say, hey, this is no longer the thing I want it to be. You're not going to actively engage in behavior that you find disgusting simply because if you don't do that, your previous behavior is, invalidated. It's okay to move on. The problem you have with moving on is, WoW, whenever you try new games, your brain is like, remember how much you enjoyed WoW? Yeah, exactly. And you can continue to remember how much you enjoyed WoW. But notice that it's how you remember how much you enjoyed it, not how much fun it was yesterday. Sometimes it's important to accept the fact that aspects of your life move and change, and stuff that you enjoyed years ago was different to how it is now. And forcing people to continue to engage with stuff that they no longer enjoy because they once enjoyed it is manipulative. Nostalgia. It's not what it used to be. How old does a game need to be considered retro? I don't think there's a hard and fast rule about it, but I can just make one up. So 20 years? Yeah, you can just make those rules up, that's fine. Ed, you say 15. Ed, well, unfortunately, you're not the streamer, which means you are wrong in this case. Now, remember that no matter what you think, someone with an audience and an online viewer base is objectively correct in everything. That means Halo 3 is retro, correct. How about one generation? No, I've said 20 years. If a game came out 20 years ago, it's retro. But what if it came out 19 years ago? That's not 20 then, is it? What if it came out 21 years ago? Yes. Is the PS3 retro? We can actually answer that question with a quick check. When did the PS3 release? The PS3 released in 2006, November, which means technically it's retro in November. Right now, it's actually still a remarkably modern console, but it will be retro in November. Yeah, the PlayStation 3 released 20 years ago. So if any of you are thinking the PS3 is a new console, no, it's not. Would you guys believe this? FIFA 07 released in 2007. That's how old that game is. You wouldn't put FF13 as retro. Okay. When did Final Fantasy 13 release? Final Fantasy 13 released in 2009. So that would not be retro within the... Are people having difficulty subtracting 20 from things? Oh, you were agreeing. Good, thank you. I'm glad. People just have this problem of 20 years. 20. That's the new rule. 20 years is now... I wasn't a maths teacher, so I could be wrong on this. The 80s was 20 years ago. Yeah, that's what every 90s kid believes, and is also, I think, correct.